From Alumni Arena on the campus of the University at Buffalo, it's Bulls and Bears. The Maine Black Bears out of America East taking on the University at Buffalo Bulls from the Mid-American Conference. Good evening, everybody. Howard Simon along with Will Regan. Thanks for joining us. Final non-conference game of the season for these teams as they prepare for their respective conference schedules. For the Maine Black Bears, it's been a struggle a little bit offensively this season. They've been racked by injuries. However, one guy's really stepped up his game. Ryan Bernstein is a sophomore walk-on. It's his first year as a starting point guard, but this is the key offensive weapon.
That's right, Andrew Fleming averaging 11 and 7, and he's not playing like a freshman. He's playing like an upperclassman, really taking into his own, and he's coming off a great performance last week against Brown, where he got American East Rookie of the Week honors, and he's going to look to continue that again tonight against the Bulls. And
Maine trying to get a victory before they dive into America East play. For the Bulls, they're coming off a tough loss to Robert Morris, hoping to turn things around tonight. We look at the starting five, including Willie Connor. The last time we had a UB game, he lit up Coppin State with 8 threes, but he's not the only offensive weapon.
That's right, he's not the only one that can light up a team. You got Blake Hamilton and CJ Massenberg also in the backcourt, both capable of scoring, and having this guy back, CJ Massenberg, is a huge lift for a guy like Blake Hamilton, because CJ can score, dish, and take the burden off Blake Hamilton, who's the leader of this team. He's capable of scoring multitude of points, 20 points you see, and he's capable of sharing the ball and rebounding as well. But he's not the only guy capable of going off for this Bulls team.
I think that if they're all a threat out there, they have to actually all be guarded. And then, if the ball moves, whoever's night it's supposed to be is going to step up that night. People want to lock on to Willie and CJ both. I think it gives Blake some driving lanes to the basket. So teams are going to have to pick and choose when we've got all 4 of those guys available as to who they want to take out of the game.
And those top 4 guys are averaging at least 14 points a game. Blake Hamilton, CJ Massenberg, Willie Connor, and Nick Perkins. Can some of the other guys contribute? That's one of the storylines that Nate Oates was talking about this week, Will, as he tries to get this team ready for the MAC opener next week.
He's trying to find that 5th guy and a couple guys coming off the bench to fill in and help lift this team up when they're struggling or kind of in a rut during a game.
Yeah, you can see those numbers. Those guys account for about 60 of the 76 points a game the Bulls average. And the next highest score after Nick Perkins averages a little over 4 points a game. Bulls going with the all-gray look here in their final game of the non-conference portion of the schedule. The Kenneth Smart tips it to Blake Hamilton. UB going right to left. Maine, the road team in the navy blue uniforms. The Bears coming in at 4 and 9, while the Bulls enter play tonight at 5 and 7. It is Devontae Jordan in the lane. First shot of the night is no good. It's Vincent Easy, a late change to the starting lineup for the Maine Black Bears. Vincent Easy, number 50, the redshirt freshman, who got that rebound, is in the starting 5. So 3 freshmen starting tonight for Coach Walsh. That's Austin Howard on the wing. He's a good 3-point threat. Evans on the drive, Danny Evans. Willie Connor there defensively. That's what he does. One of the things he does best. Connor, one of the better defensive players on the Bulls roster.
Yeah, good job dropping down on help side there to deflect that pass out of bounds, but UB's got to defend that drive a little bit better. The ball handler got to defend more than 1 or 2 dribbles.
Ryan Bernstein for Austin Howard. I mentioned his 3-point threat. You got to respect that. Bernstein. Race to the corner. A good job by Easy to throw it out off of Kenneth Smart.
That's what you like to see out of a guy kind of just getting into the starting lineup. Sometimes they got the tensions and things going through their brain, but right now, hustle, gets the nerves out of him and keeps the ball for his team.
Fleming to put it in play. What a tremendous season he's having. Will talked about him in the open, the freshman from Maine. Number 0 for the Black Bears. Howard elevates for 2. And Jordan's got the rebound. They're trying to watch the minutes of CJ Massenberg. CJ normally is a starter, key player here, has been averaging 30 minutes a game, but they're a little worried about his time coming off the mononucleosis. So I think we'll see a little bit more of Devontae Jordan tonight. They do want to get him some more minutes.
It's a fine line to walk. You try and limit his minutes, but then again, when your team's struggling, you need a guy that came off the bench. But if Blake Hamilton can hit shots like that all night, you never know.
Nice touch on the fadeaway for Hamilton, the Bulls' leading scorer, and he gets the game's first points. It is that fine line, Will, between watching the player's health, in this case Massenberg, who's not at 100%, and trying to build chemistry with that starting five.
Exactly. Sometimes you try and give him light and reps in practice, but doing that you lose the chemistry you develop that you would during practice and the plays you run then. So it's a tough challenge to monitor, but I'm sure Coach Oates is doing his best.
The spin move in the drive for Devontae Jordan. And the freshman from Cocoa, Florida, you get a good look at him. He's earned himself a spot at the free throw line. So Jordan will get the first free throws of the evening. I mentioned getting the start tonight, getting some playing time. He started earlier this season. He and Dante Carruthers were kind of splitting time at the point when C.J. Massenberg missed the first 8 games of the season with mono. So some very valuable experience for this freshman.
He's one of those guys that Nate Oates would love to see step up. He's a freshman. He does a lot of things well, but he's been hesitant when he gets into the paint. And it was good to see him there the first couple possessions really take it to the rim and not be shy of his shot, because he's great at sharing the ball. And if he can make the defender trust his shot or respect his shot, then he's going to be able to get more assists going forward.
He is leading the team in assists. They certainly love that part of his game, but as you mentioned, I'd like to see him pick up his shooting. He missed a couple at the free throw line there. Howard for 3. Best three-point shooter the Black Bears have, and he gives them the early 3-2 lead.
And that's saying something, because the Black Bears have a great three-point shooting team, and there's a lot of players on this team that are capable of hitting from downtown.
They do like to shoot it, so you got to respect that. You've got to have your defense extended. They shoot more threes than any other team in the America East Conference. Speaking of the 3, Connor can get his first of the night to go. McKenna Smart doing a good job on the offensive and defensive boards early on for the Bulls. Got that last rebound. Perkins for 2. Bears trying to run. They won't do it that often. They are more of a half court, get into the half court, set it up, keep the pace down a little bit type of offense. Fleming can't get the 3. Smart in there fighting for another rebound. This one is tied up. The arrow will favor Maine. Like the hustle from McKenna early on, well on the boards.
Yeah, that was a good, well-fought rebound on both sides. Just trying to earn that hustle play to chalk up some points for their coaches.
You see number 4 in gray for the Bulls, David Kadiri checking in. McKenna Smart takes a seat on the bench. Also in for Maine, number 10. Got the ball right there. Wes Myers. For fans of the Niagara Purple Eagles, you might remember Wes. Played 2 years up at Mont Eagle Ridge and then transferred over to Maine. This is his first season with the Black Bears. He is their leading scorer, by the way, and a pretty move and fadeaway jump shot.
Tough shot right there, hitting a step-back shot contested by Willie Connor.
So the Bears have a 5-2 advantage. Slow start offensively for the Bulls, a little over 3 minutes in, 1 bucket. That came from Blake Hamilton. Trying to get Perkins down low. He's definitely got the height advantage. They triple team him and he travels. It's an area the Bulls are they're really making a conscious effort, Will, to get Nick Perkins more established down low on the post.
Yeah, and I think Maine's noticing that. They put 3 guys on him there. And as a guard passing it in, you need to recognize all those people coming there. And Nick Perkins also has to recognize that there's extra guys coming to him, so he's got to get out of that trouble earlier.
You put Connor on Myers, the Bulls' best defensive player, matching up against Maine's best offensive player, but Austin Howard gets his second jumper of the night. This from 2, and the Bears are off to a 7-2 start. So a good start for the Maine Black Bears here in Buffalo. Hamilton, just outside the foul line. That one off target. Connor cuts off Myers. Nice dish. 3 from the wing from Bernstein, no good. Hamilton will draw a trip to the free throw line. When we get back, Blake Hamilton will be at the foul line for the Bulls, who are off to a slow start here on offense. Only 2 points for UB. Maine up early here at Alumni Arena. The Bulls just 1 of 5 shooting from the floor tonight. The only basket right there from Blake Hamilton. The only 2 points the Bulls have right now. We mentioned Wes Myers, the transfer from Niagara. Nice little dribbling exhibition to get himself into a spot, and he hit the fadeaway jump shot for the Maine Black Bears, who are up 7-2 as we return to Alumni Arena. And Will, one of the strengths of this team, we have noticed already tonight, it's one of the keys you had for the game, control the pace, move the ball, rebound are the 3 keys. Pace, half-court defense. They are very good in half-court defense, and early on they're frustrating the Bulls with that defense.
That's right. They need to do what they do well, and they get back on defense, and they can set up their half-court defense, and it's tough to score on them. So the Bulls need to get stops and get out in transition if they want to do well tonight. But the Maine Bearcats' weakness is rebounding, and they're out rebounding the Bulls early on in this game. So if they can maintain that half-court defense and rebound, it's going to be a tough night for the Bulls.
Now that's Bob Walsh, the Maine coach. He'll be happy early with the rebound stats. That's one of the areas he talked with us this week about that. He'd like to see his team improve upon their work on the glass. It has not been up to his liking, but as you mentioned, and it is a strength of the UB Bulls for sure. But early on tonight, Maine doing a good job there.
Yeah, UB tends to out-rebound their teams by 5 or more rebounds a game, which is a large margin to maintain over the course of a season. And right now they're being out-rebounded, so it's a stat to keep an eye on throughout this game.
A senior from Pasadena, California, hits 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Bulls down 4. CJ Massenberg in the game now for UB, number 5 in gray. Hamilton trying to tip that rebound around. Black Bears have it. Quate McKenzie in, Dante Carruthers as well. McKenzie 24, Carruthers 22, and the Bulls are whistled for a foul. As you see Quate right there.
Yeah, sort of see a couple of Achilles heels of this team thus far this season, missing a free throw at one end, getting back, and then fouling at the other end. Something that the Bulls are trying to clean up as the season progresses.
Yeah, when we talked to Nate Oates this week, he identified 3 problem areas. One was turnovers. Another one was fouls on defense. Too many fouls. The position, he's not happy with their positioning at times on defense. They pick up another foul on defense right there.
Yeah, and Coach Oates is right. Normally a foul comes from being out of position. If you're in position, in good guarding position, it's tough to get called for a foul unless you're over-aggressive. In the case if you're trying to make up space, that's when the refs will get you.
2 team fouls on both squads here. Bernstein working it down low for Fleming. Spins on McKenzie, and he's whistled for a foul. Thought he had a clean block, but he got a piece of the shooter's hand. And Andrew Fleming will go to the free throw line. And 3 quick fouls on the Bulls. Second personal on McKenzie. And we'll get a look at Andrew Fleming. Nate Oates said they had a good week of practice. He actually did some 2-a-days because they wanted to work on some chemistry, finally getting the team together and getting everybody coming out of the break. They wanted to work hard leading up to this game. He felt they had some pretty good practices, and we'll see if it plays out over the course of the game tonight. Look at Fleming's numbers. What a tremendous season he's had. And when we talked to Coach Walsh, this is a freshman. He was the player of the year in the state of Maine last year, and Coach Walsh did not mince any words, said he has a chance to be a great player at Maine.
Yeah, he's shooting above 50% from the field, and he's done that against good competition. You look at their non-conference schedule, playing a couple ACC teams, including Duke, and it's tough to do.
Played Botjack and Providence, too. Nice assist for Quate McKenzie as he found the cutter, David Kadiri, and the Bulls will get the ball back. Look at the quick bullet pass down low to Kadiri, cutting on the baseline for the easy dunk. McKenzie, one of that young triumvirate, Carruthers, McKenzie, and Jordan, who are getting a good amount of playing time in their first seasons with the Bulls. McKenzie gives for Hamilton. Massenberg's first shot of the night. No good. Offensive rebound, McKenzie. And CJ with a nice switch to the right hand, but he can't get it to fall. Maine looking to run. Myers. Blocked in part by Kadiri. That's something we saw David do very well last year. Another block for Kadiri. Good fight for Easy. Fleming, Myers. Now Kadiri gets a rebound.
Getting some great minutes from David Kadiri. We talked about trying to get minutes from people off the bench. He's got 3 blocks now and a dunk, and helped lead that break in transition for Blake Hamilton.
Well, that's effort too, as we saw Hamilton can the 3. Well, that's another thing Nate was talking about. He needs more consistent effort from his team. Those blocks, that rebound, that's all effort. That's just hard work. Nate Oates screaming out instructions from the bench. Wants some more defense from his club. That one doesn't roll in for Easy. McKenzie for Carruthers, a Rochester native, almost lost the handle. Had a tremendous high school career playing for Darryl Barley, the former Canisius great at East High School in Rochester. Hamilton on the drive and the foul. He does so much, Will. We saw him get the three, but we know Blake Hamilton is athletic and skilled enough to do this.
Yeah, he's just able to turn down the screen, go baseline. He's physical enough to kind of get through that contact and get that and one.
He's leading the team in scoring, but second in rebounds, assists, and steals as well. He does a little bit of everything for the Bulls. Maine wants to talk things over. UB on an 8-0 run. We're down 7-2. They're up 10-7, and Blake Hamilton's going to be at the free throw in just a moment to see if he can complete the play.
Yeah, let's talk about that last stretch of the Bulls. They were starting a little slow, down 7-2. You get a little energy from David Kadiri. You get energy from guys off the bench. That kind of sometimes effort just picks up and breeds, better plays and everything.
I think one of those keys is leading to the offense, right? Not necessarily take care of the ball, but key number 2, defense, defend the 3. Defense, I think, has created that energy and picked up the offense.
Absolutely. UB's been struggling on the defensive end, or at least not consistent. If they can be consistent at the defensive end, that'll help in all aspects of the game.
Let's talk defense. David Kadiri, what a sequence he had with the block. Staying with it, too.
You'd like to see them clean that up earlier, but he's still protecting the rim, getting the ball.
The shot.
Exactly, and now they're able to get out in transition. As we said, it's hard to set up your defense once you get a stop and get out in transition, which is what the Bulls are good at.
But I like that replay, the fact that he didn't get the block the second time, but his defense did enough to alter the shot and make it a more difficult attempt for the Maine player, which led to the miss and the rebound. Hamilton finishes off the three-point play.
And the Bulls kept fighting. It wasn't like they gave one good effort and then died. They kept fighting, got a couple blocks, finally got the ball, then get out in transition.
Hamilton gets a breather, and Willie Connor checks back in for UB. In for Maine, number 4, Marko Pirovic, senior from Bolton, Ontario. Now the Black Bears trying to get their offense going. As a reach-in foul by Dante Carruthers.
You don't like to see those, though. The guy's not in scoring position. He's really not heading anywhere good. He's driving into the corner. Why reach when you can stay on your guy, protect the three-point line? And I'm sure that's why coach is over there talking to him on the sideline.
That's what they call a teaching moment, right? When Dante gets the foul, he has to go sit down with his second foul, and immediately the coaches, Brian Hodgson, Nate Oates, talking to Dante about what happened on that last play. 4 fouls on the Bulls. Bernstein from the Bronx, New York, stepping up, playing the point guard with the injury to Aaron Calixte, who was their point guard the first 2 games of the season. He is here tonight, and he might get in the game at some point as he tries to come back from that injury. Myers jump shot. Good box out by the Bulls. Connor there. Perkins. Smart had to be careful he didn't get over the back. It is off of Maine. Here's Ikenna from Nigeria. Good season last year for the Bulls. 30 games, valuable playing time, and they're trying to get a little more offense from him in the post to help. And they need a little bit more production from their bigs down low. Connor, they know he's the shooter. You can see how quickly the defense on that side in the zone got out to Willie Connor. Good drive by Jordan, right through the heart of the zone, lays it up and in.
Another time Jordan's looking for a shot when he gets inside instead of passing, and good things have started to happen for this kid.
Bernstein. Howard hit a couple shots early. Pirovic, that's a 3. Connor races up court. Myers, nice defense, hustles back and strips it away without getting that behind the back foul. A little bit out of control there on offense, though. We're racing back and forth. Perkins with the slam.
And that's what Jordan's made his bread and butter so far this year. He's able to dish it too. So, like I said, if he's capable of scoring and being a threat in the paint, it's going to be hard to guard him in transition and when he gets into the paint.
Almost a strip there by Massenberg. Had to be careful at the end to not foul. Fleming, that's Jordan with the reach in, knocking it around. Only 5 on the shot clock. Myers. Fleming right there for the easy putback. Black Bears down 6. We'll mention the schedule. There's been some tough games. Virginia Tech, Providence, Duke, just to name a few on the schedule for Maine. They have one more game against Columbia, Ivy League school, and then they'll get into their conference play. Massenburg on the drive, a little too strong. Bernstein. That's a 3 from Howard. His second of the night. Nate Oates calls a quick timeout as Maine pulls within 3 at 15-12. It'll be UB ball when we get back. Nick Perkins making his presence felt down low. Devontae Jordan with a nice feed and the finish from the sophomore from Ypsilanti. We talked about UB's defense keying the run that put the Bulls in front. Let's take a look at the defense, Will, and the Bulls in good position, helping each other out as well.
Yeah, good help side right there and good rebounding position. When you force a shot like that, you're in good rebounding position, and then you're able to get out in transition, which helps. When you play good defense, you can make a run, scoring 13 unanswered points during that stretch.
Yeah, Maine had a stretch where they missed 9 consecutive field goal attempts. They've hit the last couple. Austin Howard with a 3, and Nate Oates decided to call timeout and talk things over with his group. As we get a look at Bob Walsh, the head coach of the Maine Black Bears in his 3rd year. He's looking at the stats, and he's not going to be happy to see that his team's shooting 27% from the field. 3rd season at Maine, very successful run at Division III Rhode Island College. You see his record and the 8 straight Division III tournament berths, and 3 wins in year 1, 8 wins in year 2, and I know he feels they're making progress. The problem is this year they've just been wrecked by injuries. Oh, alley-oop finished up by Quate McKenzie.
And you know that was drawn up in that media timeout, trying to get some energy in this building, and it was a greatly executed play by the Bulls.
Myers trying to respond from Maine. That's Aaron Calixte is in the game. His first appearance since the 2nd game of the season when he suffered a foot injury, and they were worried that he might not be able to play at all this season. They were thinking about redshirting him. How about this setup from Blake Hamilton?
Yeah, it's definitely a potential top 10 play right there, and it shows you how athletic and deep this team is. Quate McKenzie, one of the big men that the Bulls have.
Let's do it again.
And let's do it again, but he's not the only one. He could have passed to David Kadiri there. Another athletic big man the Bulls have.
So McKenzie with a couple of alley-oop finishes, that time from Devontae Jordan. The Bulls are up 7. Feeling a little bit on offense now, certainly playing with more confidence tonight after that tough night they had at Robert Morris in their last game. 3 from the corner from Calixte is good. That's a big return for the Maine Black Bears if he could stay healthy and play the rest of the season. He is normally their starting point guard and a big part of their offense. So I'm sure they're delighted to have him back.
Averaged 11 points last year. When you lose somebody like that, it's hard to fill that right away. You need to get time and find that momentum, and it's not easy to fill.
Whew. That would have been pretty. Devontae Jordan with the knife through the lane, but unable to finish the play. Myers tracks down that ball. You talk about Maine, they have, well, now the Calixte's back, but they had 3 starters out. Lost 1 before the season, lost 2 during the season, and they have another depth guy who's out as well, so they're down 4 players. Fleming, good defense there by McKenzie. Fleming sticks with it. Kadiri swats it out of there. One-hand rebound for David Kadiri, who's giving the Bulls quality minutes on defense tonight.
One thing to note here too, the Maine's dropping into a 2-3 zone, which is not something they're used to playing and normally play, so they're probably trying to do this to battle with that depth issue we're talking about, which is why the Bulls have been able to get some of those alley-oops over the top.
They put up a nice wall there, and Blake Hamilton shuffled his feet as he attempted to get through it. So the alley-oop working very well for the Bulls tonight. How about the last one from Quate?
Yeah, they're running back and lose sight of Quate there, and hey, when you're athletic and long like that, you can throw it up anywhere above the rim, and someone's going to throw it down.
Good ball movement there prior to the Blake Hamilton. Is that the oop portion of the alley-oop? No, or is it the alley portion of the alley-oop? What's the pass?
The alley.
The alley, and then the slam is the oop?
Yes.
Okay. Would make sense, I guess, yeah.
It's a foul on the court and trying to figure out what the refs are signaling right now.
They were pointing to the UB bench. I know, I just heard Coach Walsh say something, can I get a warning on their bench? So something happened at the UB bench. Quite honestly, I'm not sure what it was. And there was no foul.
And they did not reset the shot clock.
So, yeah, 4 on the shot clock. Not sure that Maine realizes that. The bench is trying to let him know. And he gets the 3 to go in just before the shot clock expired. That shot from Danny Evans.
That was close. I tried to stare it down as best I could, and I couldn't tell the difference, so I can't imagine the refs trying to make that call.
Really, Connor with a nice step through to get around defenders and give UB the 4-point lead. Connor had a rough performance at Robert Morris. They'll like to see him get his offense back here tonight. He had a strong first half of the season, though, for the Bulls. 1 and done and a rebounding foul on Pirovich. He just could not keep himself from colliding into Dante Carruthers. It'll be UB ball when we get back. Willie Connor, good body control, steps around Pirovich and puts in 2 for the Bulls. Mentioned earlier, Maine, they love to shoot the 3. They shoot it more than any other team in the America East. They've been hitting some tonight as well. Beat the shot clock by a hair on that 3-point field goal from Danny Evans. When we mentioned the return of Aaron Calixte, we take a look at the Maine bench. 4 guys out. Look at the key injuries. Now, Calixte played 2 games, and then he was injured. Ilka is not playing tonight. He's still out. He went down in the after 11 games this season. Garrett Beal went down in the preseason. That's 3 starters, 3 of the most experienced players. It's a very young roster they put on the floor now because of these injuries. And tonight, Ilya Stojikovic, who was scheduled to start, is now finally checking into the game, but he's hobbled. Number 11, you see him coming in on the court now. He's hobbled as well, so it's really limited what Bob Walsh can do.
Yeah, and it's tough when you're losing not only these key players to injuries, but upperclassmen, because you're bringing in the inexperienced players behind them that got to get that experience early on, which I think they have. You see Fleming playing a lot better now, but it's still a process to get there before conference play.
But they're getting minutes they might normally not be getting or maybe ready to get just yet. They're playing in different roles because of the injuries as well. So there's been a lot of adversity that they've had to deal with. Jordan's 3. Tipped out by Hamilton, but here's Bernstein with it. He stepped into the point guard role when Calixte went down. Howard can't hit it. Hamilton running the other way. A little shake and bake there from Hamilton. Massenberg hits the 3 in front of the Maine bench.
Blake Hamilton hitting CJ. Nice combo there, 2 of the leaders of this team, and you know, Blake's happy to have CJ back in the lineup.
CJ 3rd on the team in scoring, averaging 14 points a game, and this now his 5th game back after missing action with Mono. Strong drive by Wes Myers, and he draws the foul.
See a nice backdoor cut right here, but the Bulls defense, they need somebody to step up in the help side and meet that guy before he gets to the rim.
So Myers goes to the free throw line, the former Niagara product. A couple years up for the Purple Eagles. He averaged 6 points as a freshman, 7 points as a sophomore, and then transferred. And Coach Walsh had a good relationship with Wes Myers' high school coach. And when he transferred, Myers transferred, the 2 talked, and Wes Myers ended up at Maine. You see he is leading the team in scoring. Coming off the bench, he was starting earlier in the season. About 4 or 5 games ago, they decided to bring him off the bench, and it's actually helped the efficiency of his game. He's playing a little bit better coming off the bench. 1 out of 2 at the line. Black Bears down 5. Whoa, Perkins lost the handle there. Bernstein drives, and the foul is called on, I assume, the Bulls. And if it is, that would be on Devontae Jordan.
See here, watch this replay. See how Jordan does not fall straight back. As a player on defense, if you fall straight back or don't fall at all, especially in a situation where the contact was minimal, the refs normally don't call the foul or they call a charge. When you fall back at a different angle, it's almost automatically a block unless it's obvious where the offensive player is pushing off.
And we loved listening to Coach Walsh talk to us about Ryan Bernstein. We mentioned a walk-on. Came in and you think, okay, this is a practice player. He's a walk-on. He's here to practice hard, make other players better. And now he's their starting point guard, and he's playing really well. Distributes the ball very well, but it's just his attitude. They talked about how tough as nails kid, overachiever, he's got the old, chip on the shoulder, and he's out to prove something every day. He's really brought a really tremendous attitude to this lineup and has really played well in the starting role. Massenberg draws contact on that drive, and Bernstein will get called with the foul. Bulls will put it in play. Neither team over the limit yet. Second foul on Bernstein. That's 5 team fouls on Maine. UB has 6. And the floater there from Hamilton doesn't fall. Howard for Calixte. So you've got 2 guys who can play point right now in the game, Calixte and Bernstein. Check that, I'm sorry, that was Myers, my mistake. Stojakovic loses the handle as he drives. It'll stay with Maine, and they'll have 11 on the shot clock. Maybe trying to see who got a piece. I think Willie Connor got a piece of that. Looking at that replay. Yeah, I think he reached in and threw him off a little bit.
It's tough to see, but we do know it's Maine ball.
Vincent Easy back in the game for Myers. It's a little screen in the corner, and Myers converts with 3.
He's got a nice smooth stroke. He's been knocking down some tough shots so far tonight, and when you have your set feet, your feet set, it's a little bit easier to knock it down.
Connor. And he answers with a 3. What were you talking about, having your feet set?
It's a magical thing as a shooter. Once your feet are set, it's much easier to knock down that J.
Willie Connor doing what he does so well. He leads this team in 3-pointers made, added 1 to his total, under 5, and the Bulls are up 5 here in the first half. Bernstein had it over McKenzie. Kadiri with the board. Connor a little bit offline on that 3. That's Howard with it. Try to get it back for Bernstein. He'll recover. And they'll reset the offense. Howard with a nice move to get past Hamilton. Good defense by Kadiri in the paint, but Maine got the rebound. Bernstein gets his instructions from Coach Walsh. Myers 3, Connor gets out. Four on the shot clock. That one barely touched rim. Although they didn't reset the shot clock. It won't matter, it's UB ball. Bulls defense coming up big again, and a member of the Max All defense team last year is showing up his offense. Willie Connor from the corner for 3. This is the final non-conference game of the season for the UB Bulls, and it's Mid-American Conference play starting on Tuesday. Talk about a tough schedule to start conference play. At Toledo, very good team. At Eastern Michigan, where the Bulls have had some issues playing in Ypsilanti, and then you come home and no problem, just take on the Ohio Bobcats. You see the ESPN 3 schedule. Now those home games too, Ohio and Ball State. Anytime you want to get tickets for any home game for the Bulls, call 1-877-UB there. You can go get tickets online at ubbulls.com. Nate feeling confident that his group will contend for another MAC title as they try and set MAC history and win a 3rd straight championship.
We said it all year during their broadcast, but they have the talent.
Yep.
But they have their flaws, and they need to get through those flaws just like they did last year. Coming out of conference play, they were 6-6 going into their last game, 5-7 this year. So it's not uncharted territory for the Bulls, but like I said, they have their flaws and they got to fix them.
When we talked to Nate and we asked him, since this is the last non-conference game, what have you learned about your team to this point? And one of the things he said, Connor got another 3 from the corner. One of the things he said is, I've learned we have the talent to win the MAC. There's no question based on some of the really good teams they played against. But as you said, Will, he's also learned defense has to get better. Turnovers have to come down. There are issues they have to correct. Howard with the little shot fake, get under, and miss the foul line jump.
It's hard enough to win any conference in Division I basketball, let alone the Mid-American Conference, if you're inflicting wounds against yourself.
Dante Carruthers gets the ball back from Maine. Massenberg with another three from the corner. He's hit as he releases. So 3 free throws coming up for CJ. Here's the sophomore from Dallas, Texas. Had a great freshman year for this program.
See here, kick out his leg a little bit. Wait for the shot to get off. A smart play by Massenberg.
So CJ goes to the free throw line. Mentioned just limited action this season because of the mono. Still averaging 14 points a game at about 30 minutes of playing time. We were talking to Nate Oates about the mono. He said, you know what, guys? He's not 100%. He might not be 100% the entire season coming back from that.
It's hard sometimes to get that endurance back once you're practicing every day, but your the practices aren't what they are preseason practices. You're preparing, you're scouting other teams. You're not going as long as you were, so sometimes it's hard to get that endurance back without having that preseason package that you had to go through.
You watch, it was so much fun watching his game and his development as a freshman last year, Will. He did so many strong things for a guy who people were not talking up that much coming into UB, but he really stepped up. And even as a sophomore, you know, when you talk to the coaches, you can tell Massenberg has already become one of the leaders of this team in year number 2.
He was a spark that the Bulls are looking for this year. He came off the bench. He was lightning in a bottle, did a lot of good things for this team, especially when they needed it. And that's what the Bulls are trying to find from some of their guys on the bench this year.
Kenneth Smart stood his ground in the lane. It threw off Wes Myers. Led to the turnover. Bulls trying to capitalize. They cannot. As they lose the ball out of bounds, Massenberg tried to keep it in, but he couldn't do it.
Credit Maine right there for running back on defense. They had all 5 guys pretty much back inside the three-point line, and it wasn't like UB was walking it up the court. They had all 4 of the guys back to make that a tough pass, and as a point guard, you might want to pull it out there.
So CJ lost the handle there, and Maine gets the ball back. Approaching 2 minutes to go. Bulls have their first 10-point lead of the night. Easy. It's Vincent Easy. I was not trying to say easy. And they throw it into the UB bench.
Down on the block, it's easy, right?
Easy. I didn't mean it was
Vincent Easy.
Yes, Easy E. And he was trying to get it to, I don't know, I assume Austin Howard, but Andrew Fleming was over there. Maybe it kind of confused Easy a little bit. Nate Oates calls for a 30-second timeout. When the Bulls will get the ball back, they'll have the 10-point lead with 1:57 to go. You see turnovers, it's a pretty low number. I think Nate would have to be happy so far. They came into the game, Will, averaging 17 turnovers a game this season, and that was area number 1 in terms of things they focused on with the players this week where they need to improve. That's a good start.
Yeah, normally as a coach, you're looking to keep it under 12. If you can keep it under 12 over the course of a game, you're doing a good job taking care of the basketball. 17 is too many. And you're, like I said, inflicting wounds against yourself. It's harder to win when you do that. So it's a good number to see for both teams, really, but for the Bulls especially because they've been struggling with it.
Will Regan fan club out here tonight enjoying the game.
Oh, there's a couple more out there. They got to get a wide angle there.
Yeah, it's a bigger section. I didn't want to. Okay, so part of the Will Regan fan club. I didn't want it to sound like it was the whole group. Yeah.
There we go.
Online participation for your fan club is at record numbers, I understand, this season. Massenberg looking inside, trying to get it to Perkins. He's fronted by Pirovich down low. Hamilton whistle on the drive. And I think they got Pirovich. Yep, they got Pirovich. We're playing a little too physical on Nick Perkins down low. And Maine is over the limit. There you see him to the right of your screen. Okay.
Point of emphasis in the new rule changes that they, or the rules that they wanted to emphasize this year, and it was that the hand play on the defensive end. And I think because that post up was happening in front of that ref for so long, he felt like the need to call it. I don't think that affected the play much, but again, you can't really, as a defensive player or offensive player, hook the guy or get your arms underneath. Otherwise, the refs are willing to call those fouls.
And he did let it go for quite a while. That started at the block. And it kind of moved its way further outside the lane and out to the perimeter, and they just kept battling for each other.
And those are the situations you want Nick to get the ball. Sometimes when the defense isn't expecting it, that's when he has to post up. But the guards need to recognize, because you can't draw those situations up. If you draw the play up, the team's going to triple team you. But if they're not ready for it, you can post up, isolate the guy, get the guy the defender in foul trouble sometimes. So it's something that the Bulls need to be aware of.
Ooh, Pirovich is shaken up. He set the screen on Connor, and I was a little surprised they let it go. He stayed with him, and now Pirovich is on his back over at the scorer's table, holding his stomach. And you already saw, right at the tail end of the replay there, you saw him reaching for his stomach. So I don't know if he got elbowed or what happened in the contact with Willie Connor. You see Nick Perkins maybe a little shaken up as well on that play, and that's Marko Pirovich.
Looks like it was his lower right rib, but I wasn't able to get a good angle on it to see.
That's where they're looking.
To see exactly what happened or what caused it.
It was weird because he was setting the screen up at the top, and you set your screen, you move on, and they just like they were. And it didn't connected, and they couldn't separate for some reason. It was an odd-looking screen.
It didn't look like there was major contact here. So you see coming through.
He's already grabbing the rib there. That's why I almost thought the whistle was going to blow. Like one guy was holding on to the other too long on the screen, and the referee would do something, but they let it go, and then Pirovich immediately grabbed for the rib and headed over to the scorer's table to get off the court and went down.
And it's unfortunate, too, because, like we said, there's a lot of injuries that have been happening with the Bearcats team, and you just add another one with another senior.
So there's the screen. Okay, right. There's the initial contact from Connor. I still will maybe. You majored in medicine?
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, you could see the contact from Connor, but it looked like Pirovich, had his arms down to protect himself on the screen.
So it looks like to me that it was on that initial screen that was set, and he was trying to man up and kind of get through the screen, and it wasn't working for him by the time Willie got to the top of the key.
It's a good round of applause here.
He did get up. He's walking it off now with the trainer, and that's a good sign, but looks like he's still in pain.
Let's watch Wes Myers. Let's see, number 10 from Maine. Let's see what he does. He might have clipped. No, maybe there. I think Wes Myers, our truck caught it. Nice job, guys. I think almost looked like Myers clipped the right hip of Pirovich when he came around with the ball. Officials were just telling us they had checked it out just to make sure there was nothing flagrant on the screen. It might have been Myers hitting the hip, I think, not Connor.
Yeah, it was a fair screen. It was a physical play by Connor, and Myers coming off it. It's kind of what the coaches teach you to do. Just like hitting open jump shots like that.
Good setup. Yeah, good setup by Maine.
Yeah.
They found Austin Howard for the 3. And the Black Bears pulled within 9. Howard's got 3 threes here in the first half. Connor steps. Thought about stopping, shooting, taking the 3, and then just kind of shuffled the feet as he decided to drive. Howard now a team leading 11 points for Maine. Under a minute to go. Stojkovic. Strong drive. Tipped up and in. I think Fleming on the tip.
Yeah, only his 4th basket of the night, but his 7th rebound. Doing a great job on the offensive glass so far tonight.
Well, Maine with a little run here to get it down to 7. Floater from Hamilton is good. The Bulls' leading scorer on the season stretches the lead back to 9. Calixte had an open look. Hamilton for Massenburg. Perkins runs the floor and draws the foul. So the big man running the floor, trailing the play, gets to the free throw line because of that effort. Good look by Massenburg as he saw Perkins coming up behind the play. Figured the defense is chasing him, so get it back to Nick Perkins. And Myers gets called for the foul on the reach-in. This is something the coaches would like to see more of from Nick Perkins. Free throw attempts. He's averaging about 3 a game. They'd like to see it double, and I think that's part of that conscious effort to have. He's got a good perimeter game, we know that. That's part of that effort to get him established with a low post game offensively a little bit more because they want him to be at the free throw line.
And like I was saying earlier, I think that'll come if he and his teammates start to recognize when the right opportunity is rather than drawing up a play out of a timeout. Maybe there's a rotation on the defensive end and they can take advantage of a mismatch. Things like that will help him be more physical, get the shots closer to the basket that the coaches are hoping for.
Maine can pretty much run the first half out. Carruthers knocks it away. The Black Bears working for that final shot. Fleming with the hook. Doesn't get the roll. UB has to chuck it up from three-quarter court. They can't beat the buzzer. Bulls with a good first half. I think Nate Oates has to be happy with his defense and with the fact they're not turning the ball over very much. A 10-point lead for the Bulls. When we get back, we'll hear from UB Athletic Director Alan Green. The Bulls up over the Black Bears by 10 at Alumni Arena. Points in the paint, one of the key stories of the first half. The UB Bulls with a big edge there. As we take a look at them aggressively going to the basket, sometimes it was a dish. Devontae Jordan to Quate McKenzie. Willie Connor with a nice pass fake and able to get to the basket. 16-4. The Bulls have a 10-point lead. They have a 12-point edge in points in the paint. Will, other stats that jump out. Look at Maine. 11 offensive rebounds, but it's not being converted into points. 28% from the field, and the big number is what they've done from two-point range. 4 of 20.
Yeah, they're actually shooting better from behind the arc than in the paint. And that's not something you want to see, especially when you're rebounding so well. You need to convert those. You want to convert those. And if they do convert it, it's a ball game. So keep an eye out for that tonight.
I think some of that credit has got to go to the UB defense, because there are times where they'll get the offensive rebound and then the UB defense is altering the shots or doing something down low to prevent them from getting the putbacks when they're in close. Second half underway. Bulls have the first possession. That's Nick Perkins with the left hand. A little bit short. Rebound for Andrew Fleming. Andrew Fleming 0. Number 3 is Ryan Bernstein. The point guard. Number 2, Austin Howard. Number 5, Danny Evans. And number 50, Vincent Easy, the starting 5 in the second half for the Maine Black Bears. It's Devontae Jordan out there defensively. Willie Connor, Blake Hamilton out on the wing. Nick Perkins and Kenneth Smart starting 5 for the Bulls. And we have a 3 early on from Evans. So Maine gets on the board first here in the second half.
Doing what they do best, knocking down shots from behind the arc. It's from multiple guys this time.
Well, that's been the best part of their offense tonight. We said that no one shoots as many threes as they do in terms of the America East teams. Perkins for 3 off the side.
It's his 4th shot tonight that's at the front rim. He's really got to try and get his legs and his shot up over the front of the rim.
Howard on the drive gets the roll. And for Perkins, he had a little bit of a rough stretch here. Will, it's a good test to see how the sophomore handles some adversity. He struggled against Canisius, against Robert Morris, missed a lot of shots in the lane, and he's having a little bit of issue here tonight.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to try and find a way to find your groove, whether it's in the paint, on the perimeter, and let that affect other parts of your game.
They get it down low to Kenneth Smart, and he draws the foul. So Smart will go to the free throw line, and that's foul number 3 on Vincent Easy.
And he's been playing great. You know, like we said earlier in this broadcast, he wasn't set to start the night, but he is starting. He had those hustle plays. He's rebounding well. He's got 7 rebounds thus far, which is a great number to have coming off the bench.
You look at Kenneth Smart. They're definitely doing some more things offensively for him. You know, he's still growing in terms of a basketball player. Guy didn't start playing basketball until he was in high school in North Carolina. But the Bulls are trying to run more sets for him down low. That time he gets 1 out of 2 at the free throw line.
Yeah, another miss. 8 of 13 from the free throw line, leaving points on the board. And it's another area that the Bulls have struggled with thus far this season.
Andrew Fleming hits the jumper there. He was pretty quiet in the first half. The Bulls, I thought, did a pretty good job defensively on Fleming, but he's able to get the jumper there. And just like that, Maine's down only 4. They were down by as many as 12 in the first half. Hamilton on the fadeaway. Bernstein with the loose ball. Fleming, he's got the stroke going here in the second half. He only had 2 field goals made in the first half. He's got 2 in the first 2.5 minutes of the second half.
Getting some stops on the defensive end and shooting the ball well at the other end, and they got a couple points in the paint as well. So great start for the Bearcats so far.
Nate Oates about to make wholesale substitutions. 4 guys waiting to check in at the scores table. Perkins with a nice turnaround, Jay. Maybe that'll get his game going here as Nick Perkins puts the lead back up at 4. Austin Howard hit on the 3. Willie Connor bumped into him, and Austin Howard's going to have some time at the free throw line.
Yeah, I see here coming off this, setting up for the shot and getting hit right on your elbow. That's a tough shot to make as a shooter. If you get hit on your elbow, it's gonna affect your shot massively. You see right there, boom.
I was gonna say, a nice screen by Vincent Easy. I think he was moving, but that's okay. It happens.
Yeah, sometimes the refs aren't looking and you can get away with it.
I thought he took a little step at the end. And we see Austin Howard, 14 points tonight, 50% shooting, couple of assists for him. And big-time substitutions. Hard to keep track. Kwate McKenzie, David Kadiri, C.J. Massenberg, and Nikola Rakicevic getting his first action of the night. Dante Carruthers. So how about that? 5 out, 5 in for the Bulls.
I don't think Coach Oates was happy with how the Bulls opened the half.
I think that's a pretty accurate statement on your part there, Mr. Regan. I think when you take out an entire group of 5, you're trying to send a message.
And rightfully so. They had a 10-point lead. Now it's a 1-point lead. You got to credit Maine for coming out of the half the way they did.
Massenberg is fouled on the drive, and I think they're going to get him for the shooting foul. So I just guess it was just a little lack of energy from your starting group. So you go to the bench and say, okay, who wants to play? Get out there and show me some energy.
Yeah, and you gotta learn from this, because as a team that wants to, compete for another MAC championship, you cannot come out flat in the second half. You gotta get over that. You need to put a team away early in the second half, not let them back in it.
CJ hits that one. It's funny. One of the things that Nate talked to us this week, and Massenberg was one of the guys that stepped up in a team meeting and said it was about effort. And Nate talked to his guys about effort, and it's got to be there more often. It's got to be consistent, and you can't just wait for league play to turn it on. And CJ was one of the guys that stepped up and said, and that can start right now. Consistent effort can start right now, and that's up to us. And I don't think Nate was happy with what he saw in the first few minutes of the half.
Effort's one of those things that you can control any time of the game. You don't need to be making shots. You don't need to be, getting, other things where you're finishing or getting these rebounds. As long as you're trying, to make a difference on the court, you're hustling, things like that, you can control that. But it doesn't start on the basketball court. It doesn't start after the tip. It starts in practice. And so if you don't change your attitudes in practice, it's not going to carry over to the game.
Swarming defense by the Bulls there, but whistled for the foul, and that's Andrew Fleming at the line. One more for the talented freshman who looks to be setting himself up for quite a career for Maine, and going to be tough to handle in the America East. The player of the year in the state of Maine last year, averaged over 27 points as a senior in high school. How about that? He misses a couple at the foul line. You brought it up earlier, Will. Neither team shooting the ball particularly well at the free throw line. Maine was at 1 of 6 at halftime. Rakicevic sees the opening all the way to the basket, a little finger roll. Why not? They're going to give it to you. Take it. Nikola, wearing the number 42 this season, changed his uniform number to honor his mother, who passed away during the season last year. 3 from the corner for Purovic. And Maine is back within 2. Black Bears not going away here in Buffalo. Massenberg with the drive off the glass. That's what you want to see from one of your leaders, the sophomore Massenberg, coming in with some aggression on offense. Howard's 3 no good. Kadiri with the board. You mentioned Kadiri in the first half and the energy he gave them off the bench. He had 4 rebounds and 1 block. Picks up another rebound there. Massenberg. That one went way up in the air. He's off target on the 3.
Good contest by Fleming on that jump shot, making it tough for C.J. Massenberg to see the rim, and it's tough to make a shot when that's the case.
Purovic going to try another one. McKenzie with the board.
It's their 20th three-pointer of the game so far, but they have 5 different people who've made a shot from behind the arc.
Nice little pass from Rakicevic to McKenzie in tight, and Kwate finishes.
Nice little lift off the bench for Rakicevic, making a little finger roll in the paint, then getting a dish, kind of keeping the Bulls alive right now while they're trying to find their groove right
but what
here in second.
I'm sorry, well, what did we just talk about? You can see the difference in energy from this group of players as opposed to the guys who started the half. Defense leading to potentially offense. McKenzie, layup and the foul. You do it on the one end and transition to the other. So the Bulls went to massive substitutions, and that second group of 5 has been a big boost for UB. McKenzie on the finish. It's an 8-point lead, could be 9 when we get back. So about 3 minutes into the second half, Nate Oates took out his entire starting unit, brought in a fresh set of 5. Will, they're on a 10-3 run. What has this group brought to UB? What have they been able to do?
Well, they brought a lift off the bench. They got the energy going, led to their defense, getting out in transition, and then they just got that three-point play here, and they're starting to feel it again on the offensive end. So, sometimes it's just a little energy like CJ Massenburg wanted their team to have, and they brought it with the wholesale substitution. Yeah, they've really done it all. It was a 1-point game. It was 40-39. And the Bulls are on that 10-3 run now with, I don't want to say the backups, the second group coming in. Quate McKenzie has a chance to finish off the 3-point play. McKenzie got off to a good start in his first year with the Bulls and then suffered a concussion, missed 4 games, returned to the lineup against Pitt, and he's had a little bit of a tough time getting back into the groove he showed earlier this season, but he gets 3 there and puts the lead back at 9. Howard for 3, in and out. It's a 2-on-1, it's an odd man rush. Carruthers, he can't get the roll, but he's going to the free throw line. Once again, defense to offense, transition game. Bulls getting that ball, flying up court, taking advantage of the 2-on-1. Yeah, you see Carruthers here too, getting a good job, just taking it to the rim strong, through the contact. You like to see him finish that, but you get it out of transition and, getting to the free throw line.
So Dante Carruthers from East High School in Rochester gets the first free throw. A great career he had. As you look at his numbers for the Bulls in his first season for UB, averaged over 28 points a game as a senior in Rochester. He was the player of the year in Rochester and first team All-State.
It might not stand out too much, but that 1.4 steals per game, that's a high number. And that's top 10 in the MAC right now, and he doesn't even get that many minutes. So he's a great defender out there, always active, high energy, which isn't a surprise from what we've been seeing tonight.
Nate was saying he loves the effort he's seeing from Dante on the defensive end. Super hard, brings a lot of energy to the court. They just would like to see a little more development on the offensive side of the ball. 2-3 zone for the Bulls this trip up court for Maine. Howard trying to penetrate off his foot, out of bounds. So the switch to the zone creates a turnover. Massenburg running the offense now. It's around the double. I think they tried the alley-oop there. The alley was a little bit off, and the oop definitely wasn't there.
Yeah, unfortunately that time it was not the case.
And that's an offensive foul. We saw a play similar to that in the first half, but this one I think you saw the exaggerated push-off, the arm going out from Myers.
See that arm go out there? Yep. It's a good job by Carruthers to get back on defense, and like I said, he's high energy, able to get a turnover by taking that charge.
And you see a young player like that playing like that as well, you'd like to believe other guys would see that and they'd feed off of that. Bulls have extended the lead to 11. Kikovic, good pass to Carruthers, skips it, but Massenburg was stepping out of bounds. He had his heel on the sideline. A few turnovers for the Bulls. They've done a very good job protecting the basketball here tonight. And we'll take a look at CJ backing up. Yep, for sure, he had that right foot go back. No, you didn't think so?
My question is, did the heel ever come down? But from that angle, it's hard to tell. The ref was right on top of it. I would trust him over my replay here.
I see your point. Distance. Because for sure it was over the out-of-bounds area. You're saying it was up in the air. It didn't necessarily step back down. Good hustle by the Bulls, and I think a timeout. David Kadiri on the floor. Didn't want to get called for traveling.
3 Bulls on the floor. That play, you had Carruthers, McKenzie, and then Kadiri on the floor, and that's a great sign for the Bulls.
And the bench, you could see the reaction from the bench. Those guys leaped off the bench to come out and congratulate their teammates for the effort play. It'll be UB ball when we get back with the Bulls up 11. Will Nato spoke to his team this week passionately about effort. This play is about effort. Let's look at the play, but then look at the reaction of the bench. You mentioned the Bulls down on the floor. Kadiri smartly calling time, by the way. You saw them clapping on the way to the break. Look at the guys coming off the bench and the applause, and that continued when they sat down to talk at the timeout.
Yeah, I saw Nick Perkins running from the bench all the way to half court to help out McKenzie, and he's the one sitting on the bench because he didn't bring the energy. It's amazing what energy on the court can do, not only for the players on the court, but the bench, and it just raises the whole team.
And we've talked about defense creating offense for the Bulls. They're on now. The run is 13-3. Maine has not scored in 3 minutes and 11 seconds. And that's credit to the Bulls picking up their defensive play. Rakikovic tried to get that ball, but it was intercepted by the Black Bears.
Shall I say it, Howard? It's a game of runs. The Bears and the Bulls, they're just going back and forth.
There you go.
I took that from you, though.
It's a bear market. It's a bull market. It is. It's the stock market game tonight. 10 on the shot clock. Bulls trying to dig in defensively again. Pirovic leaves it short. Whoa, there. Kikovic had to watch out for his teammates. Jay Massenberg down on the court. Hamilton no good. Rakikovic with the rebound and the putback. Another guy off the bench. Mentioned Kadiri, Rakikovic. The list is long tonight. The Bulls are getting really good, strong minutes from their guys off the bench tonight. Bernstein spins, blocked by Kadiri.
It's almost every play now. You got an offensive rebound by Rakikovic, a block shot, guys diving on the floor. If I was Coach Oates, I'd leave these guys in to leave a message, prove a message. You know, Massenberg's in the game and Hamilton's back in, but keep the core of these guys in the game to prove a message.
A nice block by Kadiri, his second of the night. Sure, I mean, you're getting rewarded. You get more minutes if you've earned it, and these guys have certainly earned it. It is one of the strengths of this team, the depth of the roster and how many players Nate Oates can go to on any given night. He's 10 deep for sure. Howard, step back three. Fleming walks the tightrope on the baseline to keep it in bounds. Shot clock went off? Was that a shot clock violation? The ball hit the rim, right? Will, what am I missing?
They're going to check and review that as we go to break here, but it's tough to tell.
Because that was the shot clock buzzer, and there's a 0 on the shot clock. All right, they're going to talk it over. We'll get to a break. We'll figure it out when we get back. There may be an answer to flooding thanks to a University at Buffalo PhD student. The invention, which would sit underground so it wouldn't block water views, could rise on demand to stop floodwaters. It was invented by Jorge Cueto and is patent pending. The walls, called Smart Walls, are built of a fibrous concrete. Cueto has started a company and received interest in the walls from seafront towns as well as private property owners and hospitals which cannot have access permanently blocked. So congratulations to Jorge Cueto. The kids are having a good time tonight, enjoying being part of Bulls Nation here with UB up 13. And Maine now over 4.5 minutes without a point. Nate Oates has to be very happy with how things have turned around here in the second half. All right, what the heck happened?
Yeah, during the break, one of the officials came over. The ball did hit the rim. They failed to reset the shot clock. They gave it to Maine underneath, but UB stole the ball right after. It's a wash.
Okay, thank you very much. Well done, sir. Bulls trying to add to their run. Massenberg for McKenzie. Hamilton. Massenberg over the zone. All net. Second three of the night for Massenberg. He's now into double digits. He's got 12. And that leads all UB scorers. Aaron Calixte for Maine. They're trying to get their offense going. It's now over 5 minutes since they scored a point. Myers, reach-in foul. I think Rakikovic is going to get called for that. Sorry, Kwate McKenzie, check that. And it's only the third team foul. It is personal number 4 on Quate, so he will check out. Good look inside for Fleming, but the Bulls recovered nicely. Looked like they were a little bit asleep at the switch there on that inbounds pass. Hamilton spins, fade away. Stojikovic for the rebound. Maine has missed their last 7 field goals. And a foul from behind on David Kadiri. Again, the Bulls still not over the limit. Fleming's a good offensive option, number 0. Myers, number 10. Howard has had a big night, number 2. And the Black Bears looking for just anybody to get a bucket right now. Nick Perkins checks back in for the Bulls. And David Kadiri will sit down. That was his first foul. Howard, nice move to get around Hamilton. And the Black Bears finally end the drought at about 6 minutes. And they pull within 14. It was an 18-3 UB run over that 6-minute stretch. Hamilton out of bounds.
Second time they've been called for that. Got to have that court awareness, knowing where that sideline is, because it does not move over the course of the game, and it's an unforced turnover.
You sure about that?
I don't know. It's happened twice tonight.
And that time he definitely stepped back.
Definitely out that time.
Yeah. 9th turnover of the game. Excuse me, 10th turnover of the game for UB. No, 9. I was right the first time. Myers 3, short. Good hustle by Bernstein, trying to keep it in. Who did it go out off of? Off of Dante Carruthers. So Maine will get the ball. Nice play by Bernstein just to strip that ball free on what looked to be a UB defensive rebound.
Yeah, good hustle by both players there. Carruthers not giving up on the play when Bernstein looked like he was going to get it. Put it in the hands of the refs to make the call.
Bernstein has an opening. Oh, look at the pass to Fleming. Blocked from behind, and then he lays it up and in. Oh, did they call goaltending on the first block?
They call goaltending on the second block.
Second block, okay. I think it was Connor got that first block, an impressive one.
Yeah, Fleming now up to 12 points, 10 rebounds. Some of those are coming off situations like that where he's getting his shot blocked, but credit to him, he's following it up.
So the goaltending was on Perkins, negating the nice block by Connor there. And a really impressive pass by Bernstein. Kikovic cuts through the lane and throws it to Nate Oates.
Well, here comes another run. Keep your eye out.
Yeah.
You know, Maine was struggling after that first 3 minutes they had, but putting together a couple points now.
Now, Coach Oates was the intended receiver of that pass. It was a heck of a pass. I don't think that's the way it was designed up, though. Baseline jumper, Stojikovic short. Fleming right there on the weak side. Fleming trying to stick with it, and it's ripped out of his hands by Nick Perkins.
Another rebound. You just like to see him complete the play by finishing it on the offensive end.
That's been a problem for the Black Bears tonight. Connor, I think, last touched that one. They're getting all those offensive rebounds, but they're not finishing on their second chances. It's one of the reasons why UB is up 12 in this game. Look at the offense. You saw it a moment ago. 16-5 offensive rebounds in favor of Maine. Good hustle for Connor, and he just can't get the handle on the basketball. Over and back. Stojikovic, the referee says you hit it last, so it's Bulls basketball.
Again, active hands by Carruthers there to deflect the pass off of Maine there. UB basketball.
Under 9 to go. The Bulls trying to get their 6th win of the season as they wrap up non-conference play. 5-7 coming into play tonight. Connor, nice spin to get free on the baseline. Connor gets into double digits. He's got 10. Howard over Connor. No good. And good defense by Connor, getting in there and doing his best to make Austin Howard earn that basket. Black Bears in the zone. They get it inside for Perkins. Down low, Nick Perkins finishes. That's what they want to see more from Nick Perkins. He's got 7. Some balanced scoring for he's up to 9. I'm sorry, balanced scoring for the Bulls tonight. Perkins has 9. Connor 10. Massenberg has 12.
The big four doing it again evenly tonight, spreading out their scoring from the all 4 of them.
Traveling on Maine. Turn the ball over to the UB Bulls. They've opened up a 16-point lead. Willie Connor with a nice spin move to get free and have an easy path to the basket for 2. On hand tonight at Alumni Arena. The students are still on break. So the folks having a good time tonight watching the Bulls play, and with a comfortable 16-point lead. Right here tomorrow, the women's team will be in action as they open up MAC play against Miami of Ohio. We'll have that game for you on ESPN 3. Amy Audibert, Paul Peck will bring that for you. And then it's off to Ohio and Central Michigan. Very difficult back-to-back road games to start for Felicia Leggett-Jack's team. 1-877-UB there or UBBulls.com if you ever need tickets to see the women or the men or any event at UB. That's how you get them. Now, the women suffered their first loss of the season today to Harvard, but still off to a school record best ever start of 10-1 going into the opener of MAC play. That is tomorrow at 6 here at Alumni Arena, and hopefully you can make it to the game. If not, as we said, it will be on ESPN 3. Devontae Jordan brings it up into the front court. Maine picking up the pressure defensively. They got to do something to get back in this game, and the trap forces a turnover. Bernstein on the drive, contact, charge. And Ryan Bernstein, so the second charge drawn by the Bulls here in the second half against a Maine player trying to go to the basket, this time Carruthers.
Second charge taken by Carruthers tonight, hustling back on defense. He's been the linchpin to that effort and hustle that the Bulls have brought since this that 3-minute lag in the start of the second half.
Good long pass for Nick Perkins. Down low, he finishes it.
4th Bull in double figures tonight now.
Well, the big 4 are doing their job. Those top 4 scorers, Willie Connor, Nick Perkins, Blake Hamilton, C.J. Massenberg, they lead the team, and those are the top 4 scorers on the season. They've got 44 of the 64 points here tonight for UB. Myers, Carruthers cutting them off. We mentioned the UB defense a lot tonight. Fleming on the drive, he's able to get it. Black Bears shooting just over 30% from the field, so I think Nate Oates will be very happy with his team's defensive effort tonight.
Yeah, an area where they've left things on the court, areas to be desired, but they've been playing better tonight, and hopefully they can take some things out of this, because really I think a lot of it comes from their effort.
And the last 2 trips up court, they're beating the pressure. It worked the first time. The last 2 times up court, UB's been able to get the ball down low and beat that Maine pressure. Massenberg to the basket over Myers, a little bit short. Howard sprinting the other way. Spins on Nick Perkins and misses the hoop, but gets his own miss. Fleming hacked. Basket will count, and the foul will be on Dante Carruthers.
Yeah, Fleming having a strong showing here. A little slow start to the game, about 2 points through the majority of the first half, but since then he's up to 14 points, 12 now, 10 in the second half actually. Just playing all-around game tonight, looking to add one to the free throw line.
We mentioned he's just a freshman. Had a big game their last game against Brown. He's got 14 tonight. He had 23 points, 14 rebounds in their last game against Brown, but looking for his first point at the foul line. You see his numbers tonight, double-double. 0 for 4 free throws. Okay, he's got to work on free throws.
Yeah, those 5 points are huge in a game like this. You know, it could have, stopped the momentum a little bit early in the second half and everything, but he's playing a great game. Just got to make some free throws to add to that.
Hold underneath on Maine. How's that? How do you shoot that well from the field and go 0 for 5 at the foul line? It's just, go figure.
Yeah, sometimes it's concentration, practice, but a lot of his shots are finishes. They're not jump shots. So it's a little more challenging. Although he did hit some back-to-back short corner shots early in the second half. So he's got a nice jump shot.
Smart at the free throw line. Maine is now over the limit. That is actually their 8th team foul. UB has just 4. Get a nice look at number 34, the sophomore from Nigeria, Kenna Smart. whose defensive game's pretty strong. Now they're trying to get a little bit more from the offensive side for Ikenna. A couple of free throws there. On the season, Ikenna averaging 4 points a game. He's got 3 here tonight after those 2 free throws. Three in the air, no good. Rebound, Blake Hamilton. Going to take it himself, and he's going to get a shot at the foul line here on the drive and the foul. He moves so well for a big man. Look at him go up court. He can do so many things for this team. He's a big point guard at times, the way he handles the basketball and drives up court with speed and possession. He is a senior from Pasadena, California, junior college product, in his second year with the Bulls.
Yeah, sometimes you see him move, you forget that he's 6'6". I mean, he's well built and everything, but he moves like a guard and can play the big. He's a very versatile player for the Bulls.
And he's very good at dishing. We know he can score, but he's good in terms of assists as well. He does a nice job of seeing the court. And he's actually second on the team in assists this season. Leads 20 with 5.5 to go. Myers for 3. One and done. Oh, nice job by Massenberg. Everybody's up at the bench on the Ikenna Smart slam.
Nice pass by Massenberg, and nothing comes easier than that for Ikenna Smart.
Timeout call by Maine. Looked like Massenberg might be trying to drive the baseline for the basket, and he saw Smart coming down the lane for the easy dunk. So CJ gets the assist, and a nice round of applause for the Bulls after that last possession. Let's take a look at it.
And drives baseline. Maine steps up right there to take away that drive and leaves the lane empty for Ikenna Smart.
Yeah, you can see Austin Howard. CJ draws that defense. You see Austin Howard come over, and that lane is wide open. I might have been able to score. Probably not. I probably would have gotten hurt on my way to the basket. You for sure would have dunked it home.
Would have been nice to see you try, though, Howard.
Well, yeah. I would have crumpled on the floor in pain. They would have had to bring the training staff out. Probably a stretcher.
I would have loved to take the color for that portion of the.
If I was driving on you,
would
you take the charge? Or would you just be laughing so hard that you would just get out of the way?
I'd block the shot.
It's true. You're assuming I wouldn't just like lose the basketball before I even got to. Oh my God, it's Will Regan! I'd probably panic. Thanks for your confidence. Fleming, cross court. That's a 2 in the air from Danny Evans. Here goes point guard Blake Hamilton. Connor trying to get free. Carruthers for 3. How about adding rebounding to everything Blake Hamilton does? Connor called for steps.
Shuffled the feet.
Second time he's done that tonight while trying to figure out whether he was taking the shot or driving. This time he was taking the shot and moved his feet. Let's take a look at it from our overhead view. Yeah, both feet were moving at the end.
It's the right call. His right foot was the first one down. Then he planted his left and moved his right. But it happened so quick that I'm surprised the refs actually called it.
12th turnover on the Bulls, still below their season average. Ryan Bernstein with the 3 for the Maine Black Bears.
Six Maine player to knock down a three-pointer tonight. I told you they got a lot of guys that can knock down the shot behind the arc. They just got to work on scoring a little bit more in the paint.
Yeah, for sure they've got a good perimeter game, but they've had issues from two-point range tonight. UB in control with under 4 minutes to go. Bulls 3:59 away from getting their 6th win of the season. Welcome back to Alumni Arena. The fans having a great time tonight watching the Bulls basketball team with a 19-point lead The UB wrestling team having a strong season as well. Coach John Stutzman doing a great job with the program. Earlier this season, they enjoyed their first ever win over the Indiana Hoosiers, along with a dual sweep that same day over Indiana Tech. If you take a look at their schedule, you can watch UB on ESPN3 next Saturday the 7th against Columbia at 1, Sunday the 8th against Sacred Heart at 2, and then a big MAC matchup against Powerhouse, Missouri. January 12th, they're top 5 in the country. That's a 7 p.m. match, all at Alumni Arena. Tickets at ubbulls.com or watch them on ESPN3. They have done a tremendous job this season, and John Stutzman really has made some tremendous strides, leaps and bounds in that wrestling program, picking up with the success they had last season. Blake Hamilton at the free throw line as we return to action here with the basketball team. Blake earns himself another free throw. He's up to 14, just a few points shy of his average on the season, which is 17 points a game. So a couple for Blake Hamilton, and he might be done for the night. I'm going to guess he is, as Quate McKenzie checks in, and Hamilton goes out with the Bulls up 21. Another night at the office for number 0. That's Danny Ashley in the game for Maine, number 32. His first appearance of the night. Stojikovic for Ashley. Bernstein, got to be careful, playing with 4 fouls. Evans on the drive, gets the floater. It'll be an interesting season for Maine. We'll see how they do when they start conference play. It's an America East Conference that's better than a lot of people thought it was going to be. Some people thought it might slip a little bit this year, but C.J. Massenberg with the 3 from the corner. Coach Walsh telling us that they've actually had, this group of teams has put together its best winning percentage in non-conference games. So the America East will be a tough road to hoe for Maine. Vermont, by most accounts, is the team to beat. Maine hoping to be in the top half of the league. Vincent Easy with the turnaround jumper off the glass. It's a good league. You know, you talk about teams like Vermont. Albany's been in the tournament in recent years. Vermont's been in there a number of times. We saw Binghamton here last year from America East.
That's right. Always have a good showing in the tournament. Vermont's been out tough. Always a tough out. Perennial team, too. They're always strong, Vermont, in the American East.
See the last play, Jordan on the drive. And Christian Pino checking into the game for the Bulls. That was the reaction you heard from the crowd a moment ago. The junior from Detroit, Michigan, who played his high school ball. There he is at Romulus High School for Nate. And of course, the crowd and the bench will be rooting for Christian Pino to score, to get a shot and score. Ashley with it. Good defense again by Carruthers. McKenzie got a hand in there to try and get that ball out. 3 from the corner, a little bit long from Garvey Melvin. 2 on the shot clock, and they will not get the shot off. So the Bulls, as has been the case throughout the night, really making Maine work in their half-court offense.
Yeah, anytime you can keep a team under 70 points, you're doing a solid job playing defense. And tonight, they're holding them down under 60 so far, so it'd be a good note for Oates and the UB team to kind of lead into the conference play.
Maine shooting 33% from the field tonight, 22 out of 66. And we mentioned their 3-point shooting, 9 threes made, so only 13 twos made tonight. Kenneth Smart heads to the bench. David Kadiri checks in. That last foul was on Christian Pino. UB still not over the limit. Team foul number 6. You see the 3-point percentage there. I would tell you what their 2-point percentage is, but it requires a lot of math right now, and I don't have my calculator handy. Drive to the basket, charge. So the Bulls draw yet another charge, and guess who it is? I think it's Dante Carruthers again. He should get some kind of an award tonight.
Yeah, those are some of the best plays in basketball, though, because not only do you get the basketball, you also get a foul on the other team. So you're, earlier in the game, you're 1 shot closer to the bonus. You get the basketball. It's a good situation, and the person who drove has a foul on them.
When Carruthers made his way up court, he went by the UB bench, got a low 5 from Jim Weitzel and Brian Hodgson, 2 of the assistant coaches. Is there ever an award to someone who draws the most charges each season?
It's always a topic of conversation in the film room about who's going to draw the most charges and who has and all of that. But what's a shame is that it doesn't show up on the stat sheet, right? It's a team turnover for the other team, but individually you don't get a steal for it. You don't get acknowledged for it. But it's a big play.
It is, and I was going to say, in this day and age of analytics and every stat category you'd have, you'd think they would do that. Rakikovic with the pass across to Pino, who lays it up and in. There's the reaction I was waiting for.
Yeah, the crowd goes wild off of that play right there.
Rakikovic with the assist. Pino gets his first bucket of the night. How are you at drawing charges?
It's a good story. I got good at it as I got progressed in my career, but I was not the
so
best.
much at the beginning.
Not the best when I started.
Here's the basket from Christian Pino. Nice job by Rakikovic getting that pass around the defender.
From our angle, all I saw was the basketball go up. I didn't see an offensive player shoot it from behind all the players.
That's right. Make fun of the guy who's 5'7".
Lo and behold, Christian Pino appears from the crowd.
You're going to hear about that. What did he say? Hi, star, how you doing? When he called you some kind of star earlier tonight.
He's always trying to hype me up.
Been a fun night for the Bulls. Strong defense, and they're going to top. They should top. Well, they might top the 80-point mark on offense. Pino for 3. Well, the arena wanted that one. Ooh, Christian Pino getting a rebound stack. And a turnover, unfortunately.
All over the score sheet. Got points, rebound, turnover.
Charge. Another charge drawn by Carruthers. That's impressive. I don't know if I've seen a guy draw that many charges in the same game.
I mean, it's a great job by Carruthers, but you got to learn in transition. If the guy sets his feet, make a pass, make a play, go around him, pull up, do a floater. There's a lot of options out there, but you can't keep going through them.
Look at all the guys smiling on the bench. They all stood up to give him high fives when he went back into the front court. Even he was smiling about it. Pino with the scoop. He's trying as hard as he can. I know, now I can't guarantee that I'll remember to ask Nate about it in the postgame, but I'm sure Nate Oates will bring that up in his postgame session with the media. And I'm sure we brought up in the locker room and pointed out that Carruthers was drawing all these charges tonight. That's about effort.
It's about effort, and you want to know what? He drew 4. There was not only 4 opportunities to take a charge tonight. You need to get some of the other guys to do the same thing because they are a great play, a big play, a momentum changer type of play in a game.
Well, they won't top 80. They'll sit at 79, and the Bulls will run the clock out. The fans standing and applauding here at Alumni Arena. And the Bulls will bounce back from an effort they were not happy with at Robert Morris and a loss to the Colonials. And they'll close the non-conference portion of their season at 6-7. 79-60, the final here tonight. The Bulls victorious over the Maine Black Bears. We have post-game coverage coming up from Alumni Arena in just a moment.